Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life with Sterling Fox on AM 650.
Nice to have you with us. Nice that you made it through the long weekend and you're here to listen to our program. We're talking boating with Boating BC directors Michael Short from Vancouver Marina and Morley Monroe of Canmar Yachts. Both our guests are headquartered in Richmond, although, Michael, you have kind of a split operation. You've got the marina in Richmond down by the airport, and then you've got that, I hesitate to say gas station, but that's essentially what it is.
A fuel dock.
A fuel dock.
Yep.
under the Burrard Street Bridge. One of the things, Morley, that you mentioned to us about Boating BC at the beginning of the program when I asked you about the organization of which you two are directors, what is Boating BC all about? And one of the things that you said, first and foremost, is we're about safety and encouraging and promoting boating safety in our province. That's every corner of British Columbia. Well, we've just had another long weekend go by, and regrettably, there have been boating mishaps. This is as predictable, unfortunately, as turning the calendar is at the end of every month. What do British Columbia people, especially people who want to learn and become more involved in boating, what do they need to know from you at Boating BC about learning safe best practices? Mike?
Boating BC, first of all, is we're a big supporter of the Waterwise Boat Safety Team, which are in all kinds of different areas of the province throughout the year, educating people of all ages, from kids at school all the way up, and they'll be in community events all around the province. As for safe boating itself, if you want to get more information, the best start would be the Safe Boating Guide, which is available online. So if you go and look up through Transport Canada's website, the Safe Boating Guide, it's a great place to start. It'll tell you all the safety equipment you need to grab to equip yourself.
And Morley, is this safe boating primer that Mike is talking about, is that also pretty much required reading if you're going to get a license to operate a boat? You're going to have to know all this stuff, aren't you?
It is part of the course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and you can do all this online. You can get your license online even, can't you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And how long does it take?
It's not an extensive course.
Okay.
I think if you were to study it for a week or 10 days at the very most, not heavy studying,
right.
But reviewing the material and getting yourself familiar with the terminology and that, you could probably have your course. You could actually have your challenge it and have it in a day, or if you wanted to take a little bit of time, probably 2-3 weeks, a little bit of studying here and there, you'd have your course. It's not that extensive. It's certainly not a difficult course.
But it's not designed to be mind-boggling. It's designed to be instructive, right, Mike?
Yeah, all we ask and ask people is just to take it seriously. So you want to go, and if you're going to go online, learn about the safe boating aspects, and if you have any questions, go off the computer and go down to your local marine supply shop or marina or boat dealer where you bought the boat and just ask.
Now, you guys are both marina operators, so do you have people who just literally come down, say hi and look around, and then just start asking questions about, well, how do you do this properly, and what's the safe or the right way to do that? Does that happen, Morley?
In the marine environment, a lot of information and education is shared.
Okay.
In the sense that if someone buys a boat, they will find that probably the people that dock the boats around them, or when they come into a dock, it's almost an educational forum in the sense that other boaters will teach you some tricks on a better way to tie a boat down, or cleaning tricks on the boat, or just all kinds of information. One thing other boaters do is they don't mind supplying new boaters with information. They actually welcome new boaters to the recreation.
Okay. Mike, I wanted to talk about, because we were talking about affordability, and again, for the Boomer audience, this is Boomer Life on the radio you're listening to, and you're being a part of today, Mike, and the price of boats can be intimidating to some. Others, on the other hand, have been saving for a while, and they're good with whatever the number is. But there is a way of mitigating the cost of buying a boat, isn't there? Talk to us about charter boats.
So charter boats is a great way for folks to get into boating if they're concerned about the initial investment, and to recover some of those costs. So you can talk to a charter outfit that will take your boat into their fleet and rent it out for a number of weeks a year. You tell them when you want to use your boat, and they look after the rest. So they look after the moorage of the boat and booking the boat out and maintaining the boat.
Right.
Yeah, and that way you're not paying the full cost of boat ownership.
Right, and you were talking, Morley, you were reminding us of some of the hardcore boaters that you work with and see regularly at Canmar Yachts. You were saying that you know people who spend routinely 100 nights a year on the boat.
We have a great many customers that spend incredible amounts of time on the boat.
That's a third of a year.
Yeah, and they boat all year round. All they need is a clear day without storm conditions, and they're out boating. They may be setting prawn traps, crab traps, going fishing, taking their boat from the marina over to Granville Island and having lunch, or they might be going down to the end of Indian Arm and setting an anchor and staying overnight quietly, so that there's all kinds of different activity, and likewise some of them will go over to the Gulf Islands and spend a week just idling around the Gulf Islands because it's sheltered water and it's relatively calm all year round.
You have a favorite spot over there, Mike, off Gambier Island. Do you have a favorite beach over there?
Gambier, well, for me, I've spent a lot of days up in Centre Bay. There's a few places up in Centre Bay where the water's fairly shallow and you can anchor and jump off, and in the middle of the summertime the water's nice and warm for swimming. It's great. Yeah.
So if you're spending 100 nights a year on your boat, Morley, chances are you're not the kind of person who's going to want to have that boat available for charters because you use it too much. But for some, it might be that suggestion. That's pretty smart stuff, Michael, because it really would help to offset the costs and also get you used to being on the boat and around the boat and maybe even learning almost like getting paid to own a boat, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's not meant for everybody that's getting into boating or has a boat, but for those that don't think that they'll be using their boat 100 nights a year, right. Then it is a great alternative.
I wanted to ask you about sailing, Morley, because we talked about education as Boating BC. It's a very important part of what your organization is about, is educating boaters of all types in British Columbia. But if you want to be a sailor, I would assume that there's a little more boat stuff to learn than there is to operate a powerboat. Or am I overreading the situation?
I think you might be overreading it a bit in the sense that I think people think that a powerboat is just a lot of point and shoot. There is a bit of a small learning curve there, but to move on to sailboats, I think there's maybe a little more instruction and theory in learning how the wind works and sailing terminology. But I don't think it's a big jump. But I mean, if I were a powerboater and I wanted to learn how to sail, it's not a big jump to go over. Or even if I didn't know anything about boats and I wanted to learn how to sail a boat, it's not a huge learning curve for an older person. And most of the dealers will take you out and give you some basic instruction. Plus, there's all kinds of courses on it, and they're not extensive courses. You're not going back to school.
And basically what Boating BC is doing is making all of this information, whether you want to learn to sail for the first time in your life, whether you want to buy a boat, whether you want to bring some family out from back east and take them fishing for a few days. All of these desires and drives of anyone to do anything with boating in our province is all about what Boating BC is about, correct?
That's right.
It's just you want to go play on the water. Yeah. Folks at Boating BC have got you covered.
Yeah, there's great information on our website, boatingbc.ca. Check it out, and you'll find all kinds of great information there.
Okay. Yeah. And we're out of time, unfortunately, but I did want to thank you both for coming in. It's a pleasure to meet you, Morley, and Michael as well. We appreciate your enthusiasm for boating. I certainly share it. And as we're right here, just that long weekend, the first kickoff weekend of summer, now officially under our belts, off we go into the sunset, right?
Yes. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure. Thanks, indeed. And we'll see you next time right here on Boomer Life on AM 650.